The show's name is Erongo Talk. And this Wednesday, I, your host Adolf Kaure, come to you all the way from the Baken Lodge, all the way from Walvis Bay. As usual, I'll bring you the usual segments, which includes the news, weather, as well as the tides. And we also have a very interesting interview lined up for you, which is with Alet of the Henties Bay Recycle. Don't go anywhere. Here is today's calendar day. And now for the news here at the Baken Lodge. In our first story, siblings Azan Madisia and Stephen Mulundu, accused of murdering Shannon Vassafal, appeared in the Walvis Bay Magistrates Court on Tuesday. An additional charge of insurance fraud was added to Madisia's charge sheet, and according to the state prosecutor Maggie Shiagaya, Madisia had reported a laptop and an iPhone as stolen and claimed the insurance for it. However, the police seized the same laptop and iPhone during Vassafal's murder investigation. So the case was postponed to 31st August for the siblings to procure the services of a legal aid lawyer. So in some economics news, diamond, zinc, as well as uranium production were the main drivers of mining output for the month of May. So according to the Namibia Statistics Agency, NSA, the mining composite index increased by 19.4% in May on a monthly basis, better off than a marginal growth rate of 0.8% recorded in the preceding month. So annually, the index recorded a negative growth of 1.6%. The diamond production index recorded an increase of 13.8% in May, month on month, compared to a growth of 8.6% recorded in the previous month. And on an annual basis, diamond production increased by 3.7% in May. So that is really awesome news right there in terms of commodity prices and production. So another economics news story, FNB Namibia's communications manager Elzita Bierkes encouraged customers to bank from their homes and to avoid branches, especially at month end. So given the current rise in COVID infections, FNB is reminding customers that it is possible to do most transactions needed for everyday banking from home, such as buying of electricity, data, airtime, paying beneficiaries, and sending money via the FNB app, e-wallet, pay to sell, and EFT. You can also change your card limits, cancel a card, get statements, make transfers, and log a query, all via the FNB app, which requires no data to use, she added. Lastly, Nictus recently announced that as of 20 July, their clients can make use of their online store to make purchase and have their products delivered to them in any of the 14 regions, especially towns that do not have Nictus stores. So according to the company, this is the first phase in a series of digital services aimed at embracing technological advances while fighting the coronavirus and enabling customers to enjoy their products without being limited by distance. So among many other things, the online shop caters for nationwide delivery and online credit application and approvals, which has been an obstacle for many people who wish to buy from their store, especially in remote areas and locations far from Nictus branches. So you can catch all these stories and more on our website, which is www.erongo.com.na.
So joining us today is Alet of Henties Bay Recycle. She's joining us via distance interview all the way from Henties Bay, and she's going to tell us a little bit about their business. So Alet, I hope you're still doing well. We can jump right in. Would you please tell us a little bit about Henties Bay Recycle?
Henties Bay Recycling and Garden Services is a recycle business based in Henties Bay that started in March of 2016. We only started to recycle on a bigger scale in 2020 with the help of Rented Drum and Coca-Cola.
And then Alet, could you tell us roughly how much Henties Bay recycles every year?
The amount of recycled items we collect each year differs. And in the beginning, we did 10 to 12 tons, and during the lockdown, we did 4 to 5 tons because of the lockdown also having an effect on the recycle business.
Lovely. So then, Anett, how can the community get involved to help you guys and your mission?
Easy to find. We are on Facebook, Henties Bay Recycling and Garden Services. All our contact details are on there, so people can feel free to contact us and ask what they should recycle. We can help them with that. We can also pick up your recycle items at home, and we have a premises where you can drop it off for us. We also created a WhatsApp group where the residents and businesses of Henties Bay can ask questions and participate in conversations concerning the recycle business. We have on board big businesses like Spar, Woerman & Brock and USAVE. They largely contribute towards the recycle business. We need to keep our town clean because Henties Bay is a popular tourist destination. We think that the recycling might help with this and keep our town clean, our beaches clean, and also the desert area to make it nice for people to come back to visit.
Thank you so much for your time, Alet. That has been Alet Horn, all the way from Henties Bay. Stay tuned to Erongo Talk. So joining us is Anett Kötting. She is the manager of Hotel Zum Kaiser here in Swakopmund. Hi Anett, how are you?
Very well, and yourself?
I'm doing well. So Anett, Hotel Zum Kaiser now boasts a vaccination point. In the pandemic, the damage to the tourism industry does not lack any documentation. Why did you guys decide to become a vaccination point?
We had a Teams call with the governor of the Erongo region last week. And the message was that we need to roll out more vaccinations in the Erongo region. And with tourism at the moment at a non-existent or very slow point, we have got the conference facility, and for us it was we need more points, and we decided to offer our conference facility to the Ministry of Health as a vaccination point. Mm-hmm. I did get vaccinated, and I was at the state hospital. I was fortunate that it was not too long queues, but I know some people are deterred to go there because of long queues. Mm-hmm. And our decision was, we are in the CBD, so those around us, there's Pick n Pay, there's certain shopping centers, they can send their staff here. It's easy. They should be away from work in a shorter time span. And that's why it was for us an easy decision to offer the conference facility.
So Anett, for business owners and those who have conferencing facilities and the resources to host a vaccination point, how do you go about hosting a vaccination point?
We, through the governor's office, we mentioned that we would avail our facility. Then a doctor and a technical team from the Ministry of Health came to inspect that we've got toilet facilities and the venue was suitable. And then we were appointed as a vaccination point.
Mm-hmm. And how long did this process take?
It was the next day.
Oh.
And then we It was on Thursday that Ministry of Health inspected, and they said they would be here on Monday, and they were here yesterday.
Okay.
So it started as of yesterday.
Mm-hmm. And then Anett, you mentioned earlier that you did get vaccinated.
Yes, I did.
Would you tell us a little bit about that?
I think in tourism, with working with guests, international and local, I think it's important that we see what is happening in Europe, and it's important that we do get vaccinated. It is the only form how we will get rid of COVID-19 is if all of us or the most of us are getting vaccinated. And I did a bit of research and also discussed with my doctor, and the Sinopharm that is available here with us seemed to be the best for my system, and I took it, and I had a bit of headache for one day, felt a bit of tiredness, but that was all.
Okay. So Anett, if you have a message for the public, would you please share that with us?
I know it's a very difficult decision for everybody. It is up to each and every individual to do his vaccination. I think there's enough information out there to make a choice in the vaccines that are currently available. I think we're also getting new vaccines, so I urge all the people around to do get vaccinated. Is the only way how we will get rid of COVID in general, and to protect our lives, our families, and the future.
Okay, lovely. Thank you so much, Anett. So joining us today is Pamela Heigan. She is an enrolled nurse and midwife, and she is helping here at the Hotel Zum Kaiser Vaccination Center. Hi Pamela, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great.
So Pamela, can you tell us a little bit about the misinformation currently being spread about the COVID-19 vaccine?
The misinformation being spread is bringing negativity to people that really want to receive the vaccine. So you should really have proper information that will help you to really distinguish if this is really the cause of the vaccine or is it just made up stories. Yes, so most of the time videos that are linked to COVID misinformation are actually people that don't really work in the health sector, nor do they have any titles as health workers. So it creates misinformation that can really disturb someone that really wants to take the vaccine.
And then Pamela, could you tell us a little bit about the side effects of the different vaccines?
The side effects, most common side effects that we do experience with the vaccines will be headache, abdominal cramps. Some people complain of abdominal cramps, body pains, pain and swelling on site of injection. Some people might feel tired. So that are the most common side effects that we do really experience with the vaccines.
And obviously your side effects then depend on the kind of vaccine that you...
The side effects depend on the kind of vaccine you take, and it also depends from individual to individual, you understand? So what the other person might experience, the other person doesn't experience. What I might experience, the other person doesn't experience. What the other person experience, I might not experience. So it depends from person to people. Some people don't even experience any side effects at all, while the other person does experience it. So it will be all about what you experience at that current moment. And then the side effects usually disappear from about 2 to 3 days, that you might be feeling the side effects, but then it becomes normal again.
So what should people do if they experience side effects from a vaccine?
So what we advise people to do is when they do experience side effects of medication, that they come report at the state hospital, at the vaccination site, or at their private doctor, which one they prefer most. But we are also open at the state hospital, while we do fill in a form for any side effects people experience, and then we send it in. Yes.
Okay, so you have had a little bit of a slow start here. Are you hoping for it to pick up soon? When do you think that the Hotel Zum Kaiser vaccination point will be receiving more friendly faces?
We are hoping to get more people. Yes, it was a very slow start yesterday, but today we picked up, and we so it hopes it picks up. You understand? Because even the way we are here, I'm really glad we are here, because the person that got us here, she informed all the hotels, she informed all the people she could inform. So it was really a great start to come to a place where the people are really welcome and willing to help you guys in the mobilization program also.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think is the main reason why the general public are opting not to get vaccinated?
For now, I will think that information wasn't maybe properly given out. I'm not sure about that people don't know about the different platforms and where they can get the vaccine, because most of the time I think people think, okay, the hospital is full, I don't want to go stand long, I don't want to go wait in these long queues and all that. So but when people start to know that there are different points all over that they can go for the vaccine, which will be most faster for someone for the waiting period and for the receiving period, the numbers will really will pick up, yes.
Mm-hmm. So in terms of information, do you think there is a critical or crucial piece of information that you would give to the public regarding the vaccines that they're not receiving?
I would tell the public not to listen to misinformation that goes around. What I usually advise is, whether it is right or wrong, I usually tell the people, look at your surrounding, look at the amount of people that received around you, and make your decision based on that, and not based on what you hear and what you read. You understand? Because physical evidence that you have around you is much better evidence than receiving evidence from a whole other country that you are not even aware of whether it is true or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So then lastly, do you have a message to the public?
Okay. I want the public to know that the safest way to live through all this is to get vaccinated. The vaccine is a very crucial part of fighting COVID-19. Even though it is a personal choice, when you make this decision, you should realize that you stay with your children at home, you stay with your family members at home, and then the more people are not vaccinated, the more the spreading gets worse. So whenever you make a decision, make this decision based on the people that you stay with, the people that you work with. Those are the people that we should be protecting, and ourselves. I don't think there's anyone that wants to go tell yourself, no, it was maybe me that brought this vaccine to my mother, that's why something happened to us. Because most of the time, all people are people that just stay at home, and we the young ones are the ones moving around. So any decision you make it a crucial point to say, it's based for myself and the people around me that I'm doing this for.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Pamela.
Okay.
Another episode of Rowan's Reflections. In many of my talks, you will hear that I've spoken to you about trust. And relationships are what are needed in a team. But relationships are built on trust. And trust comes through communicating. If you are not communicating with your team as a leader, you will never gain their trust. You cannot rely on the grapevine. You cannot rely on assumptions. You need to communicate the information that they need. Yes, you don't have to tell them every little nitty-gritty about your business, but you need to communicate. In the book, by Great Leaders and Catalysts, we used the 2008 world economic crash as an example. And it's one of the examples of false trust. Government said everything was fine, they didn't regulate the banking, and the people believed them. And people bought houses, and everybody thought it was great. But the government and the banking institutions and the investment houses and everybody that was involved in creating this bubble was misleading the people. They were not giving them the correct information. They were only concerned with their own well-being. They were only concerned with lining their own pockets and growing their own businesses. They didn't care about the people. And it got totally out of hand. And we all know what happened with the crash. Millions and millions of people lost their jobs, lost their houses. It was absolutely horrible. What can you do different as a leader? How can you prevent this type of thing? by communicating. Be open, communicate with your people, give them the information they need. Don't let them guess what is happening. Don't let that corporate grapevine even get a root in the ground. Just be open and honest with them. Tell them what's happening. By telling them what's happening, they'll know what's going on. And they will learn to trust you. And they will learn to trust the information you're giving them. So, communicate. If you want to break down false trust and you want to have real trust and you want to develop your relationships, it's about communicating. Thanks for watching. I will share another episode with you soon.
Do stay tuned for the tides as well as the weather forecast for all the major towns in the Erongo region. And that brings us to the end of today's episode of Erongo Talk. But we have so much more available for everyone out there on our website, which is www.erongo.com.na. You can also contact us on our Telegram and WhatsApp number, which is 0811 70040. So do get in touch with us through those platforms to make sure that you send us shout outs, your news tips, as well as videos and so much more. Tomorrow we'll be back in Swakopmund for a very interesting show, but do make sure that you catch all our other shows as well, NMH and at 1, as well as We Talk and so much more, other shows that are doing the most here on NMH's platform. Do also make sure that you stay safe because we are in the COVID-19 pandemic, so do make sure that you adhere to all preventative measures. So until tomorrow, from my side, it's goodbye.